Members said it would have been better for my mother to have an abortion or for me to have a bullet in the head.
Victor Mallory with the story of James Hale. Now he has his hands on the files that contain his childhood, and he's piecing together the story of what the system did to him.
I come to the conclusion that they didn't give a rat's ass about me.
The story of the Holton family, of courage and love. The doctors put it this way.
Classically speaking, they would be called thoraco-omphallo-ischiopagus bipus conjoined twins.
But in their parents' eyes, Katie and Eilish Holton were just their two lovely daughters, who happened to be Siamese twins.
Not a bit tired.
My first words were to the doctor, "Aren't they beautiful?"
As the parents wrestled with an agonizing decision and with its bittersweet result, a British film crew chronicled their lives.
I didn't have anything to say to, reassure us or help us in making the decision.
Tonight, Trish Wood and the Holton family 1 year later. A postscript to one of the year's most watched documentaries.
Well done. Now we're getting places, are we?
Good evening. Welcome to the Fifth Estate. I'm Lyndon McIntyre. The best hockey player in the world today is an intensely private man who doesn't talk much publicly about himself or about life at the top of his profession. And when Mario Lemieux found out earlier this year that he had an illness that threatened not just his game but his life, he was characteristically guarded in what he had to say to his fans. Tonight, Mario Lemieux speaks candidly about his health and about his determination to remain a very private superstar. I talked to him in Pittsburgh as he buckled down for the Stanley Cup playoffs and his fourth NHL scoring title. Chicago in June of '92. For the second year in a row, the Stanley Cup will repose in that once unlikely venue, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And who knows what the future holds? A lot depends on the future of a young recluse who shuns celebrity, but who has never doubted he would wear the noblest title of his time. Superstar.
Superstar.
Yeah. Does that change the way you see yourself when people call you that?
Not really. There was always people saying that here's the next Guy Lafleur or next Wayne Gretzky when I was in juniors and stuff like that, and they were calling me superstar already, so it's been with me for a long, long time.
Now, you made a heck of a commitment. When you were 16, you quit school, you said you devote all your time to hockey.
Yeah, I think it was a gamble from my part, but it was calculated. I knew that I had a pretty good chance to make it as a pro, play for at least 15 years in the National Hockey League if I stay healthy.
Do you worry, though? I mean, you must have, grade 10?
Yeah, it was grade 10 when I quit.
Quitting wasn't difficult. After all, he started hockey before he started school in Villemar, Montreal. And hockey was appreciative from the start. By the time he was a teen, the trophies overflowed his bedroom, an early indication of what hockey would one day do for his bank account. Hockey brought him to the attention of the wider world. He grew large, and his size made his domineering style of playing look easy. His parents and his girlfriend, Natalie Asselin, watched as the skill improved and the reputation grew and destiny approached. Inevitably, destiny called, but from an unexpected area code.
The scout of the Penguin taught me a little bit to prepare mentally for a go to Pittsburgh, because it's going to be tough the first year, and they trying to build a team in Pittsburgh, so it will be tough couple first year.
In the affirmative calculus of hockey, the worst team in the league wins the game's best prospect. Destiny was a place called Pittsburgh. Mario kept his enthusiasm to himself.
Pittsburgh, le premier choix de Pittsburgh, Number 66, Mario Lemieux.
In a fashion statement later to become a style, Mario declined to put on his new team sweater. He and Pittsburgh were having trouble agreeing on a contract.
Well, you know, I don't feel to go downstairs on the floor, and because I think Pittsburgh don't really want me enough to go downstairs, so that's why I'm staying here, my family, all my friends.
Pittsburgh soon proved how much they wanted him in the biggest rookie contract in hockey history till then. Mario and Natalie moved to Pittsburgh, where they are in the process of living happily ever after. But that, of course, was only the beginning of the story. He had to prove himself again, this time measured against the toughest standard of the age, a skinny guy named Gretzky. A kind of resolution for the inevitable comparisons would come appropriately while they were playing on the same team, for Canada.
Murphy to Gretzky, hit the post, rebound, they score! Mario Lemieux! Canada wins, the series is tied!
The Canada Cup, 1987, Canada against the Soviet Union. In the final game, he and Gretzky teamed up once again.
Has Murphy with him on a 2-on-1 to Lemieux, hit him goal, he shoots, he scores!
This famous goal forever rendered speculation on which of them was greatest academic. Jay Greenberg, a writer for the Toronto Sun, says that was a major turning point for Lemieux.
I don't think until the 1987 Canada Cup, when he played with Gretzky and was personally challenged by him by playing on the same line, did Mario quite pick it up to the level that he is now, the absolutely dominating night in, night out player.
Like many hockey analysts today, Greenberg believes Lemieux saved the Penguins from oblivion, that he's every bit as great as Gretzky, and that if he doesn't seem as great, it simply has to do with personality, not hockey.
He was not as much of a people person as Wayne was. Wayne enjoyed the give and take with the media. Wayne enjoyed being a personality. I think Mario has tolerated it, understands his obligations within that, but I don't think he really enjoys it.
Being a hockey player has been enough to keep Mario in the spotlight and Pittsburgh on the hockey map for years now. In almost every game he plays, he proves that he's the best hockey player in the world.
Here's Lemieux, the center penalty coming up. Look at Lemieux! Oh my heavens! What a goal! What a move! Lemieux! Oh baby!
But as his fame grows, people expect more from him than athletic ability.
Thank you.
He's become famous in America. He's even been to the White House. Fame brings obligations you don't learn about on the rink or in 10 years of schooling in Ville-Émard. But see, I want you to tell me now what you really think of fame, because you got a reputation of being shy, sort of like valuing your privacy and not particularly going out of your way to cultivate fame or celebrity.
Yeah, I tend to stay away from the spotlight as much as possible. That's why I don't do too many of these interviews a year. You know, my personal life, my privacy is very important to me, and that's why I don't let people get close to me. I have very few friends here in Pittsburgh that are very close to me, and it's very difficult for me sometimes to talk to people in public, social life, in parties or banquets and stuff like that. I'm not really good at it.
You see, privacy has a price, and in your case, it has involved people saying, well, Lemieux is aloof.
Yeah, I just don't pay too much attention to that. I know that the people that are close to me, my family, my friends, know my character, and they know what I'm all about, and that's the most important thing to me. You know, there's a lot of different things that people are going to say about you, and you can't stop them from saying that.
He's comfortable with the image of the anti-hero, but somewhere in that low-key private persona, there lurks a tough businessman with a sharp sense of his own worth. $42 million in a 7-year contract. Now, the Pittsburgh Penguins know there's no way they can sell enough hockey tickets to pay that kind of a salary. Mario, the hockey superstar, must somehow become Mario, the super salesman.
Mario Lemieux, the perfect representative for your company.
At the business end of the Penguins hockey team, men in suits spend a lot of time figuring out how to capitalize on Mario's fame.
And of course, number one in the world is Michael Jordan. But the surprising factor to us this year is number two, Mario Lemieux, in the whole world.
Richard Shimura, vice president of marketing for the team, makes deals with companies that want to use Mario's name. A credit card company, a car rental agency, and he's just introducing a Mario chocolate bar.
And between March 10th and today, they've sold over 6 million candy bars. And it doesn't have full distribution. History-making first-time order into Canada. 11 tractor-trailer loads. Last Friday went through customs.
Merchandising conjures up images of Mario dressing up in a penguin suit. Isn't there a danger that this degrades Mario, degrades his gifts, and degrades the game?
No, and I'll disagree with that because we're very selective with the avenues that we travel with Mario Lemieux, so that nothing is done without Mario's approval. It's funny you mentioned a penguin suit because there was an opportunity for him to do a commercial dressed as a penguin. Mid-six figures. We walked away from it.
Whose initiative was it to walk away from it? Who said no?
Mario.
Mario said no.
Sure.
See the little blimp high above the crowd in Pittsburgh's Civic Arena. Richard Shimura will put your company's name on it for $100,000. A down payment, perhaps, on a future Mario.
You couldn't have had any idea, like, what a business it is, you know, what a process of marketing it is. Has that changed your attitude towards hockey in any way?
Not really. You know, it's always a game, to me at least. You know, money comes along with it, fame comes along with it, but when I step on the ice, I want to have fun and enjoy myself like I did years ago.
I have to say, I don't think I've ever talked to a guy who makes $6 million a year. What does it feel like to make $6 million a year?
Well, I never imagined that I would make that much money when I came to the pros back in '84.
Who's worth $6 million a year? Who's worth $2 million a year? Who's worth $1 million a year? How do you answer that? Are you worth $6 million a year?
Well, I think that's what the market offers right now. You know, Gretzky's making $3 million a year. I just signed a new deal that pays me close to $6 million a year. So, you know, that's what the market offers right now. I don't know if I'm worth it or not. It's up to you guys to decide.
And perhaps up to fate, and a factor neither Mario, management, nor the media can control, his health. 2 uncles have died of cancer. He lost a cousin to Hodgkin's disease. On January 11th this year, doctors told him a small lump on his neck was a malignancy, an early stage of Hodgkin's disease.
You know, it's been on my mind every day, you know, it's all brand new to me. I just found out last Monday, so I'm sure as the week progresses, I'll be able to cope with it a little better.
What was the first thing you did when you got to work?
Well, first of all, I got in my car and tried to drive home, which was very difficult. I was crying the whole time, and you know, didn't really know what to think at the time. I was just trying to get home, and first I was not going to tell Natalie for a couple days, but got home, saw Natalie, and started crying right away, and you know, didn't really know what to say, so it took me a good hour to tell Natalie that I had cancer.
Did you know at this time that you were going to be a father?
Yeah, and that was a concern of mine to tell Natalie at the time because she was 5 months pregnant. And but as soon as I saw her, you know, that was it. I started crying and couldn't stop crying for a long time.
So, you are a superstar. You discover superstar doesn't necessarily mean Superman.
Well, I think it tells a lot from anybody that you're not Superman, and you can get hurt by different things in life, and certainly on the ice I have that image that you know, I am Superman, but off the ice sometimes things bring you back to reality pretty quick.
In 6 weeks of radiation therapy, he shook off cancer like he shakes off hockey goons. The Penguins languished, but number 66 was thinking about the future. After 10 years partnership, with a baby due, he and Natalie will marry.
And tonight will mark the return to the Civic Arena of center iceman Mario Lemieux as he comes...
There was one question on the minds of the Pittsburgh fans when he came back. Had the spirit suffered from the encounter with his mortality?
In the Penguins' last game after suffering a bad back. But tonight, all the emotion comes to the Civic Arena in Pittsburgh as Mario Lemieux comes back to Florida.
He has quickly recovered his form and his ambition.
My plans are to you know, break records in the future, win championships. That's my priority.
But can you do that? I mean, can you live with the fact that maybe you can't go on breaking records? Maybe you're just going to become a kind of a good hockey player.
If I'm not healthy, if my back goes out, and I'm not able to perform to my standards, I'm going to retire. But as long as I'm healthy, as long as I can play the way I want, not be an average player, but be a great player, I'm going to stay in this game for a long time.
Although he missed a quarter of the season, he will win the league scoring title again this year. And, oh yes, Pittsburgh also wants the Stanley Cup again this year. When we return, Victor Mallorig has the story of a little boy lost in the system.
Staff realized he had been misplaced, yet they kept him. And when Hale argued or tried to escape, he was drugged and put in solitary confinement.
So how long would you spend in this place? 30 days. At a time.
At a time.
In Hollywood, I've learned it's important to always look your best. So if you wear dentures, always use Super Strength Polident. It soaks away the toughest stains, and its minty mouthwash ingredient leaves your dentures minty fresh clean. Super Strength Polident.
The highway curved to the left. You ventured to the right, and 6 lanes of asphalt turned to dust. Drive a T100, 4Runner, or compact truck by Toyota and tell a road where to go. Now get up to $2,000 extra value. See your Toyota dealer today for full details.
We have a problem with you allergy sufferers.
Yeah.
Every spring we pollinate and you get sick. It's in our natures. So let's call it truce. We pollinate, you take Claritin. It works fast on your itchy eyes, runny noses, and sneezing, and for extra allergic congestion. Claritin Extra.
Right.
Besides, it's the non-drowsy brand doctors recommend most. So this spring, hug a tree, would you?
Yeah.
If you're having trouble weighing the difference between air conditioners, consider this. Not only does a Lennox come with nearly 100 years of home comfort experience, it also comes with a feature no other air conditioner can offer. One that's met the industry's only quality standards program. A professional Lennox dealer. So make the expert call. Because for reliability in air conditioning and service, must be a Lennox.
When you've been burning the candle at both ends and can't get to sleep, turn occasional sleeplessness into sleep with Nitol's single trusted ingredient. And wake up feeling well-rested and alert. Nitol.
Hello, I'm Victor Mallorig. Imagine for a moment that you've had a horrifying Dickensian childhood. You were beaten, dismissed as mentally deficient, locked away, and you had no real idea why. Then suddenly, years later, you're handed all the facts you need to piece together what happened. James Hale doesn't have to imagine. As a little boy, Hale fell afoul of a social service system in British Columbia that was supposed to be helping him. From then on, every protest, every cry for help dragged him deeper into the whirlpool. And only now, as an adult, has he been able to use BC's access to information to get possession of his files, to begin unlocking the mystery. The explanation is a chilling one, and Hale's story is all the more remarkable for his having survived it. Woodlands School, an institution for the mentally handicapped in Westminster, British Columbia, a place where society hid its unwanted. James Hale visits an isolation cell where he was held for days and weeks at a time. He was only a teenager then, wrongly diagnosed as mentally retarded. It remains his worst nightmare.
Open the door! This was the dumping ground. The system had put me here, and I come to the conclusion that they didn't give a rat's ass about me, that I was going to have to pull myself together and get out.
What was it in you that made you fight, that made you open your mouth? I mean, most people would say, I'm going to give up.
Because I knew that I shouldn't be in a place like this. And my experiences about being a ward of the state were horrible. And I wasn't going to take it.
At home in Trail, BC, James Lawrence Hale is now 37 and still fighting the child welfare system that discarded him when he was only a kid. Hale is the first person to use BC's new Freedom of Information legislation to get an unprecedented look at his files. A thick bureaucratic biography written by social workers, psychologists, and psychiatrists. All his life, Hale knew he got a bum rap, and now, finally, he's got the documentation to prove it. When you got your files and you read them, what went through your mind?
Shock. I was shocked that these people that had worked with me could be that two-faced. There are social workers that I thought were, on my side. And here they are, when I'm having a consultation with them, they seem friendly and everything, and they sympathize and empathize with me, but their reports reflect an antagonistic attitude, towards me.
You ever get the feeling throughout your whole childhood that they were dumping you, throwing you away?
Exactly. One of the staff members said it would have been better for my mother to have an abortion or for me to have a bullet in the head than to suffer the things later on in life that I'm going to suffer.
From his child welfare file, Hale is now able to piece together the nightmare he calls his life. First entry, November 5th, 1957. As an illegitimate child, 21-month-old Hale was taken from his mother and placed in a foster home with an Anglican priest, Burton Rogers, and his wife, Wilma. In the files, Hale discovered he was supposed to have been adopted by the Rogers, but Mrs. Rogers found she just couldn't cope. James was an active kid.
There didn't seem to be a solution to help this child to settle down. So as time went on, I became more and more frustrated. And I just said, you have to find another home, someone who can cope with this child better than me.
I remember being thrashed continuously, and the records indicate that she did this in front of witnesses, and she would slap me continuously till I fell on the floor, in a daze, that type of stuff.
The files unlocked distant memories. Even though Hale was behaving quite normally, Mrs. Rogers would pick faults in everything he did, spank him, and send him to his room. When James woke up at night crying, she gave him her prescription tranquilizers.
Well, I did the best I could. And I did not abuse him. He might think I did, but I didn't. I gave him love.
All he ever wanted, all he ever prayed for, was the love of a family he could call his very own. But when he was 5, Hale was suddenly removed from the home by social workers. Bounced through a string of foster homes, James Hale's luck finally changed. He was taken in by a loving, caring family. B. Huff cared for 15 foster kids. In her view, sure, James had his quirks, had his bad days, but he was okay.
Well, he was just an average kid. I mean, not any different than the other kids on the street. I could see. There was no bad behavior problems. He used to get mad and scream a lot, but what the heck, you know? Kids do that. But then he calmed down and it was okay, you know?
The welfare files say Jimmy was thriving at the Huff home. He called B Mom, and he was doing well at school. But the social workers felt that the boy had some emotional problems that needed to be fixed. So after 3 years with the Huffs, James was removed and taken to a treatment center called the Children's Foundation. During visits, Mrs. Huff noticed dramatic changes in the boy.
He was scared to death to do anything. Unless somebody told him he could do it, he'd look at you, you know. Before, he used to do all sorts of things a normal kid would do, and wouldn't even go out the door, wouldn't go out in the yard by himself, wouldn't do anything by himself. And he was not the same boy at all.
The Children's Foundation was the first in a string of institutions that would become Hale's mother and father. James was only 8 when he arrived here. He stayed for 3 years. Hale's behavior went from bad to worse. What were you made to feel like at the Children's Foundation?
Like I was a real problem kid. Like, you know, at an early age, they made me feel like I had the weight, a real weight on my shoulders, you know. Shame and guilt. They were clever manipulators. They made it look like that the things I was experiencing were all my own fault.
A problem kid with an average IQ of 96, but very difficult to handle. So he was packed off to reform school, not for any crime, but for being unmanageable. After 6 months behind bars, Hale ended up here at New Denver Training School. It was an isolated camp where the Japanese had been interned during World War II. Now it held problem kids like James Hale.
To the right here, this is where the cottages were. Yeah, that was the cottage that I was in right here.
Here Hale got tough regimentation, strict rules, and loneliness. His dreams of finding a family were shattered. He wasn't even allowed to contact the Huffs. At the age of 11, Hale felt truly abandoned and became even more emotionally disturbed.
You know, I cried myself to sleep on more than one occasion in this place. Basically, I was responding to the environment that I was in, you know, so if I was, you know, a little hard to handle, I mean, it was only symptomatic to what I was going through in my life.
The staff at New Denver couldn't cope with his behavior, so Hale was shipped off yet again to the Vancouver General Hospital for another assessment. When Hale was brought here, he was on powerful prescription medication. One was an antipsychotic drug which made it difficult for him to concentrate. The other was to counteract the physical side effects of the antipsychotic drug, side effects similar to Parkinson's disease. But that second drug also caused side effects. It made Hale antisocial and anxious. So pumped with these drugs, Hale was given an IQ test, and it's no wonder his numbers were low. Handicapped by a chemical lobotomy, this time he scored 72 and was given a label that would dramatically change his life. Into the file it went, mentally retarded. The doctors recommended a home where Hale could receive warm, individualized care. But that's not what he got. Sam Parker, the New Denver director, added his own recommendation: commit Hale to the Woodland School for the mentally retarded.
He was not an easy boy to love or like.
Sam Parker is now retired. We found him at his home near Victoria. He still thinks Woodlands was the place to send a badly damaged boy.
I think they were at a loss as to know where to place him. There were very few foster homes that could cope, and certainly group homes couldn't cope with his type of behavior.
This is where Parker and the social workers shipped Hale. This old CBC documentary shows life at Woodlands, a huge, sprawling institution. Back then, they called the patients retarded. Over 1,000 patients were locked up at Woodlands. James Hale knew right from the start he didn't belong here. He wasn't mentally retarded. Today, 2 decades later, Woodlands is being phased out, but the painful memories remain branded in Hale's mind.
This used to be the nurse's office right here.
Hale was held at Woodlands for 3 years and 9 months, until at the age of 17, he ran away. This day, for the first time in 20 years, Hale came back with me to look around Ward 72, where he was kept.
How are you feeling right now?
Tense.
What goes through your mind when you're looking around here?
Just horrible what they did to me.
Not long after Hale arrived, he was given another battery of IQ tests. This time he scored 106, average intelligence. Staff realized he had been misplaced, yet they kept him. And when Hale argued or tried to escape, he was drugged and put in solitary confinement.
So how long would you spend in this place?
30 days.
At a time?
At a time. You'd walk around like this all fucking day long. Just round in a circle. Just like this. Well, I mean, what else could you do? There was nothing else to do.
How many miles did you walk?
I probably put hundreds of miles on in this room. And when you wanted to go to the bathroom, you'd have to bang on the door and kick the fucking door, you know? And sometimes they wouldn't answer the door, and you'd have to piss on the floor.
Would you have nightmares?
I still do. That I'm confined, that I'm locked up. That these bastards are you know, putting me in a room like this again.
James Hale lost his entire childhood, his adolescence. Today in Trail, he's married and has 4 kids. For him, bringing up a family has been a monumental struggle. He's literally flying blind, with no family experience of his own to draw on. He's had his share of problems. He drank a lot, flew into angry rages, abused his wife. But he says he's working hard at controlling his temper.
Well, I've had to go through lots of therapy programs for my self-esteem, you know, anger management, anxiety. It's ongoing. It's perpetual.
Drinking?
Drinking, yes. I've done a lot of drinking.
And your relationship with your wife?
It's a lot better today than it was when I first met her.
You used to hit her?
There were moments, yes.
At one point, his wife Linda left him, but today she's the backbone in her husband's struggle.
What made you come back?
He got help. So, in my mind, that he was making me feel that, yeah, I truly do love you. You know, I'm working on my problems. I'm trying to change.
Like my existence didn't make any contribution to anything, you know.
Once a week, Hale sees trail psychoanalyst George Riley, visits paid for by the BC government. But Hale wants more. He wants the government to give him an apology and compensation.
They owe me a recompense.
My sense as you say that, Larry, is that the money recompense won't take away the sadness.
No.
Yes.
In Victoria, the BC government has a program to help those abused while in care. Joyce Rigaud, the superintendent of child welfare, says they're also grappling with the question of financial compensation.
Since it was announced last year, about 130 individuals have come forward and are taking advantage of counseling services.
If you're looking at over 100 people who say they were abused while in care of the state, are you looking at millions of dollars in compensation?
I don't actually think so, because what so many of these cases hinge on is whether the workers acted in good faith. And if it's felt that ministry staff acted in good faith and were not negligent in the exercise of their duties, then that's what the legal liability would hinge on.
We talked to some of the key people who made decisions affecting Hale's life, like the doctors at the Vancouver General Hospital, the social workers at the institutions, and the bureaucrats who handled his files. But they didn't want to be interviewed on camera. Some said they couldn't recall the specifics of the case, After all, it happened more than 20 and 30 years ago, and those who could recall are afraid that Hale might sue them. Back in Trail, James Hale is trying hard to be a good dad, to give his children the love and attention he never got.
What will I do with a short tail? Everybody will make fun of me.
Even these tender moments can't make Hale forget what happened to him.
You've had a hard time, said Mama.
He lives on a disability pension, and he wants a settlement from the government so he can finally get his life in order and help others who've been abused by the system.
Well, that's the end of the story, John. So give me a hug and then go good night. I'd be doing myself a terrible injustice if I just forgot what I'd been through. So I can't, I'm not going to lie down and be their doormat anymore. I'm going to be vocal, and I'm going to see that this never happens again.
We'll be back in a moment with an intimate look at a remarkable family.
Come on, go for it. Come on.
Are you going to come this way or that way?
Come on. And guess what? When you get here, I'll give you a cuddle.
Oh.
Now. Good girl.
Meet the international travelers. Citizens of the world who respect no boundaries. These shorebirds cover vast distances looking for places to breed, feed, and rest. But the routes they travel have for a long time been a mystery.
Connecting Flights, Wednesday at 8 on The Nature of Things with David Suzuki.
Now, when life turns up the heat,
Yeah, hi. I'm Jeff Green.
Can't wait to meet you. There's Degree Antiperspirant. Degree is body heat activated to release extra protection.
1 more minute. Okay.
Every time your body heat rises, Degree turns on that extra protection. So when you really need it, Degree keeps you dry and fresher.
Jeff? Hi.
Degree, your body heat turns it on.
It took him a while to figure it out. There's no point looking for the important things in life on a map. So before he found that little hideaway at the end of an unmarked road, Brad found himself in an Explorer, the best-selling sport utility in Canada.
As part of the Government of Canada's Brighter Futures initiative, the new child tax benefit gets money directly to families who need it as quickly and as simply as possible. To continue receiving the benefit, which is based on family income, parents must file 1992 income tax returns. While the child tax benefit is an important positive step, the fact remains that we must all continue to work together to ensure a brighter future for all of our children.
Hello, I'm Trish Wood. When it first appeared on our sister program Witness, the story of 2 small Irish girls won a huge and warm response, as it did around the world wherever audiences saw it. It was the story of Eilish and Katie Holton, sisters, Siamese twins. A British television crew was given an exceptional look into their lives during a year in which their parents faced a frightening decision about the girls' future. Now, the same film team has produced a sequel, Remembering Katie, revisiting the Holtons whose family ties have been so strengthened by all that's happened to them. Almost 5 years ago, an extraordinary event happened here, the birth of Katie and Eilish Holton, Siamese twins.
I just went straight in. I didn't just prepare myself to look. I just went over, and just before I knew what was happening, I was looking straight at my 2 daughters. And my first words were to the doctor, "Aren't they beautiful?" And he sort of looked at me in surprise, and he said, "Yes, I suppose they are."
I saw photographs first, in case the shock would be too much. After seeing the photographs, I wanted to see them in reality. You know, photographs can only tell you so much. So when I saw them, they're just two little babies. I was amazed at how normal looking they were, you know.
Liam and Mary Holton took their daughters home to a small town outside Dublin, where the twins lived a normal life with their 3 sisters. When Katie and Eilish were born, there was no question of separation. It was just too risky. And as they grew older, the girls seemed very happy together. But after consulting doctors around the world, a consensus grew that the twins could be successfully separated. Still, the Holtons were unsure. They met a Sudanese family who had faced the same difficult decision. These twins were separated when they were only a few months old.
I was quite upset earlier because I suppose it just hit me, the impact of meeting these people and maybe what we may have to go through. If they were to be like Hassan and Hussein, they'd have to get an artificial leg. Now, will we sit up? It actually hit me when I came home from stepped off the airplane and saw them. I said, you know, here they are, and what we've seen over. You know, it would be nice if we had come home maybe to 2 that were separate. I'm tired. You're not a bit tired. No. You know, I'm tired.
They went to London one more time before making the final decision.
How are you? It is a big decision, and that there are major risks in putting our children forward for this surgery. And would you have anything to say to, you know, reassure us or help us in making the decision?
I think you should view it as if all 3 of us and the 2 girls are in it together. We have the same interests at heart. We want the same out of the procedure. We want success.
Classically speaking, they would be called thoraco-omphalo-ischiopagus bipus conjoined twins, which means they're joined at the chest, the abdomen, the pelvis, and they have 2 lower limbs.
They decided to go ahead, and a team of doctors was assembled.
Very simple views of the...
Most of their vital organs were separate, but they shared one liver. Days before the operation, the Holtons were anxious, but hopeful.
What's up, Kate?
Though doctors considered the operation a success, Katie died 4 days later of heart failure.
It was such a pity, really, to lose Katie. But on the other hand, we have the comfort of knowing that had we not separated Katie and Eilish, that we could have lost both Katie and Eilish due to Katie's heart being so weak. She's lovely and clean and fresh.
Who are you looking up at? You're looking up at that nice picture. Are you? Who's in that nice picture up there? Who is it? You in it? Are you? Are you in it? Come on. Is Katie in it? Yes, she is. You see her? Look at her. Katie's up there too. On a bad day, you have a lump in your throat mentioning Katie. On a good day, you can be as Eilish is and talk freely of her. And you can, you know, conjure up this lovely picture of Katie elsewhere. If you're having a bad day, it's quite difficult to take that on board. But you do, for the sake of Eilish, and get on with it and tell her that, you know, Katie is well-minded and that Katie loves her and that Katie died because her heart was weak. And to emphasise to Eilish that her heart is not weak in case she would have fears.
It's like it's almost like a bad dream, you know. You just wonder, did it really happen? And then when I look back, I realise it did happen, and that we've been through a very difficult year.
Everything else is okay there. It is everything in its place. Good.
I think the grieving process is ongoing, but I think we've come a long way in accepting the outcome of the situation.
It's been 9 months since the operation, and Eilish seems to be coping well on her own.
And I think you don't want it to go on and you're just
She's had kidney infections, but they seem to have gone. Her wound is almost fully healed, but she still has to wear a bodysuit to keep the swelling down.
Big push. Good girl. Now.
How is she?
Oh, she's in great form.
I'm looking forward to seeing her.
Oh, look at her. Now.
Hiya. How are you?
You know, Jerry.
How are you?
The twins' former physiotherapist, Jerry Walsh, drops by to see how Eilish is progressing.
So pretty. And I hear you're great. What's he going to do, Eilish? Are you going to show me all you can do? Are you going to show me all you can do?
You know the way you can get off the couch?
Can't.
She
I
can.
don't believe
Come
that
on.
Eilish holds them. But sure, she need loads of help, would she, ma'am?
Ah, do you?
Do you need loads of help, Eilish?
Come on, go for it. Come on.
Are you going to come this way or that way?
Come on. And guess what? When you get here, I'll give you a cuddle.
Oh.
Now. Good girl. That's it.
Oh, Eilish, you are great.
Very
you
good.
are great.
Come on.
Well done.
Oh, you're very good.
Well done.
You're the best, aren't you?
Well done. Eilish, can you come up to standing? Would you stand here near here?
Would you like to get back up on the couch, maybe and stand?
Ah, she can't do that.
Oh, I think now we're getting places, are we?
Oh, Eilish.
Ups the
Oh, that's
daisies.
brilliant, Mary. Oh,
Now,
that's brilliant.
pull in the leg. Don't forget your leg. Pull in your leg.
Oh, that is brilliant,
In your
Mary.
leg.
That is
Now you have to
brilliant.
stand up a bit.
Oh, Mary.
Where are we
she's
up to?
approaching.
Oh, sorry. You're going to do your own thing.
Actually, since I was here now. She's
Yeah.
brilliant, isn't she? You're
You mean
brilliant,
centre?
Eilish Holtham. Absolutely brilliant.
It's hard to pinpoint exactly what has taken place in Eilish's mind, but what I have noticed is her playfulness seems to have got greater, and she has become more involved in life than she was when she was attached to Katie. But she doesn't show any major psychological problems that I can see.
Yeah. No, blue. Try blue.
Oh, yeah, I feel she's matured, all right. You know, maybe that has always been there and we didn't notice this as much with Katie being beside her, but certainly since she's come home, she's been the life of this house. She's kept us all going. And, you know, in the last 2 months, she's been in great form. The blue at the back, is it?
Blue and the back.
All right.
The next step for Eilish is a visit to the Roehampton Rehabilitation Centre in London, where she will eventually be fitted with an artificial leg.
Eilish, Mr. and Mrs. Holton.
Hello.
No, doctor.
Glad to meet you. As you can see, this is the right side, the thigh bone, the hip joint, and that side of the pelvis. It is quite fully formed on that side. And on the other side, the pelvis is totally absent.
Absent, right.
And in addition, as you can see, there's a curvature of the spine.
Yes.
That is as a result of the fact that when Eilish is seated, moving around, she hasn't got that part of the pelvis to distribute the weight.
So she compensates with the movement of
That's
the spine.
right, exactly. So as a result, the spine is
curved
over that side.
Right.
And this is something we ought to prevent in the future by providing a proper, what we call a seating socket. Okay. Now, when Eilish sit down, she can bend that lever and bring the leg to the sitting position. Okay. And when she stands up, the knee joint locks automatically.
Right.
So that it is meant to give stability when she puts weight through it.
Right. Is it heavy, Doctor? Do you mind if I just feel the weight?
Not at all, not at all.
Just. Oh yes, it's quite light for all the
components
that it has.
That's right. Yeah.
Do you want to feel it, Eilish?
Let's go. You want to feel it? Look.
Yeah.
What do you think of a leg like that?
Back in Ireland, the future now looks more certain for Eilish. In a few months, she'll be walking with her artificial leg.
Yeah!
Eilish will.
Eilish Eilish gets it, I get waking up again.
And Eilish continues to flourish. She can now climb the stairs at home and will join her three sisters in school in August.
I have no regrets about what we've gone through, because I believe it had to be done, that we had to give them the chance that was given to us. We feel that Katie wanted us to take that chance. We felt that explaining it to Katie, she wanted to be separated. She wanted to have the freedom that we see Eilish has today. And I mean, when we see the quality of Eilish's life today, I know Katie would have wanted that too. You're eating all the bread.
I don't know. I don't know.
You have more? Oh, you're eating some as well. Good girl. Why not? It's nice bread, isn't it?
Trying to get one.
Oh, see the ripple? Oh, out from the bread. Like a big ring.
Today, business must look for new opportunities both at home and far away. That's why Bell has established relationships to help you communicate wherever your business takes you. Whether it's voice, data, fax, or image, Bell and its Stentor partners have innovative solutions. Across Canada, across the world. New products, new services, new partnerships, new answers for the 90s from Bell.
We believe freedom of movement should be guaranteed to all people. We believe every Canadian has the right to expect fair value for his or her dollar. We believe warranties should protect the people who drive the cars, not the people who make them. We're not trying to solve all the world's problems. We're just trying to build some cars we can live with. Nissan, built for the human race.
You're looking at one Canadian. Like 10 million others, she now owns a home. And like 5 million, she has a mortgage. To most, she's an average Canadian just trying to make ends meet. But to Royal Bank, she's the reason we introduced a new money-saving mortgage called Rate Capper. True, we have 8 million other customers, but we got to be Canada's largest bank, one customer at a time.
Each year, more and more dogs are exposed to a serious disease known as canine heartworm disease. Visible signs of the disease often are not apparent until the damage is severe. Preventing canine heartworm disease is easy with simple-to-use medications. Protect your dog from canine heartworm disease. Consult your veterinarian today.
George Fox, Country on Campus, starring George Fox, with special guest Patricia Conroy, the Sky Diggers, Cashton, Tricia Yearwood, and Garth Brooks. George Fox, Country on Campus, Thursday at 8 p.m., 8:30 in Newfoundland.
Things with David Suzuki.
This is our last program for the season. We're being benched to make way for that great Canadian ritual, the hockey playoffs. The Fifth Estate will return in the fall.
In the meantime, your reactions and responses to our program are always very welcome. Please tell us what you think. And most important, send us your story ideas for next season. You can write us at Box 500, Terminal A, Toronto, M5W1E6. Fax us at area code 416-205-6668. or leave a phone message at 416-205-2000.
And we won't disappear entirely. You can see many of this season's editions of the Fifth Estate on Newsworld, Sundays at 9 p.m. Eastern, starting July 4th. And to keep your diaries straight, Witness, the documentary series, will be on after the hockey season in this time slot.
Hannah Gartner is on assignment, working on the next edition of her special program, Contact with Hannah Gartner, coming sometime in June. On her behalf and from all of us on the Fifth Estate, thanks for making this a great season. Primetime News is next. Good night.
Return to the
Civic Arena of center iceman Mario Lemieux as he comes.
There was one question on the minds of the Pittsburgh fans when he came back. Had the spirit suffered from the encounter with his mortality?
In the Penguins' last game after suffering a bad back. But tonight, all the emotion comes to the Civic Arena in Pittsburgh as Mario Lemieux comes back to play.
He has quickly recovered his form and his ambition.
My plans are to break records in the future, win championships. That's my priority. That's.
But can you do that? I mean, can you live with the fact that maybe you can't go on breaking records? Maybe you're just going to become a kind of a good hockey player.
If I'm not healthy, if my back goes out, and I'm not able to perform to my standards, I'm going to retire. But as long as I'm healthy, as long as I can play the way I want, not be an average player, but be a great player, I'm going to stay in this game for a long time.